There's a video going around right now of Caitlin Clark and her own head coach that has completely split the Fever fanbase in half, and by the end of this, you're going to understand why even Clark herself couldn't fully shut this story down, no matter how many times she's tried. Let's set the scene. Late in the first quarter of a game against the Dallas Wings, cameras caught Stephanie White trying to talk to Clark during a stoppage in play. Clark appeared to turn away mid-conversation. That's it. That's the whole clip. And within hours it had exploded across social media, with fans calling for White to be fired and questioning whether she's even capable of leading this roster to a championship. Here's the thing though, this wasn't the first time this exact story has played out this season, and that's exactly why it keeps catching fire every single time. Back in late May, during a rough 100-84 loss to the Portland Fire, cameras caught a much more heated version of this same dynamic, an actual sideline exchange between White and Clark, with Clark benched in favor of rookie guard Raven Johnson. That clip alone pulled in millions of views in under 24 hours. White didn't dodge it afterward. She called it coaching, plain and simple, challenging a player to be better. But she also said something that added fuel to the fire. She suggested this kind of moment wouldn't get nearly the same reaction if it happened in men's sports. That single comment kept the story alive for days, because it shifted the conversation from, was this fair coaching, to, why does this always seem to happen to Caitlin Clark specifically? So what did Clark actually say about all of this? Not what fans wanted to hear if they were hoping for a rift. She waved it off directly, describing it as just two competitive people who both want to win, and pointed out that people online turn small moments into something that isn't reality. And she didn't stop there, she brought up something far more personal, reminding people that when she went down with an injury last season, she cried in White's arms afterward. That's not the kind of detail you share about someone you don't trust. Now here's where it gets genuinely complicated, and this is the part worth sitting with. Weeks later, a different controversy hit, this time involving Sophie Cunningham, who took a hard flagrant foul to the face from Chicago's Dejonae Carrington. In her very first post-game comments, White didn't come out swinging. She said she didn't believe Carrington intentionally went for Cunningham's neck, before later admitting she hadn't even seen the replay yet. Fans didn't let that go, and for the first time all season, Indiana's own crowd booed their head coach before a home game. That's when this story took its most surprising turn. Instead of the moment dividing the team the way everyone expected, it did the opposite. White came out and delivered a fiery, emotional response to the booing, calling the foul on Cunningham egregious once she'd finally watched it back, and declaring she stands by her players no matter what. And then Clark did something a lot of people didn't see coming. She said hearing her own fans boo her coach actually made her feel sick, and made it clear the team wasn't losing that game for her. Cunningham echoed the same thing, describing the locker room as tight and having each other's backs. So which version is true? The player who allegedly can't get her coach fully in her corner, or the player who says she'd ride for that same coach for the rest of her life? Genuinely, that's not a rhetorical question, because both things have happened in front of cameras this season, and it's exactly why this story refuses to die no matter how many times Clark tries to close the door on it. If you're the kind of fan who wants the real footage, the real quotes, and the actual context instead of just the angriest 3 seconds of a broadcast clipped out of context, that's the entire reason this channel exists, and it's why hitting subscribe now means you'll be the first to see how this plays out the next time these two end up in a viral clip together, because based on this season, that's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And there's one more piece of this you need to know before you go, because it changes how you should be watching every future game between these two. White has now been fined by the league for her public comments defending her players against what she's called egregious officiating, meaning the tension fans keep spotting on the sideline isn't just about Clark's role in the offense anymore. It's about a coach who is willing to take real financial hits from the league itself to publicly back her roster. Keep that in mind the next time a clip like this goes viral, because the full story is almost never the 3 seconds everyone's sharing, and I'll be right here breaking down the next one the moment it happens.